levántame, lléname, levántame, lléname, levántame, porque tu poder es mi poder. Gracias Dios por mi vida, por eso es que yo estoy vivo. Cuando estoy muy cansado, tú eres mi fortaleza y mi corazón fuerte. Gracias por cambiar mi vida, por eso es que tú eres mi alegría. Cuando pienso en ti, me sonrío una vez más. Gracias, sos mío. I thank you, Lord, for filling me up with love and strength, like water in a cup. You quenched my thirst when I needed a drink. You cleared my mind when I needed a think. You helped me get back on my feet. You gave me a new song with the hip hop beat. When the going gets tough, you helped me along. When I was weak, you made me strong. Lléname, levántame, lléname, levántame, lléname, levántame, porque tu poder es mi poder. Lléname, levántame, lléname, levántame, lléname, levántame, porque tu poder es mi poder. Por favor, ayúdame. Necesito la verdad, porque mis ojos no pueden ver, porque mi vida está con ella. Demonios, mentira, dinero que linda, mi vida está con ella. Satanás es muy bella, pero ya no quiero esa cochinada. So God, fill me up, take me to the top, and don't you stop. Fill my soul with the strength to fight back against my flesh, me against me and no one else. It starts in my mind and affects my life. One step at a time, I walk this line. Fill my soul and don't let go. Fill my soul. Lléname, levántame, lléname, levántame, lléname, levántame, porque tu poder es mi poder. Lléname, levántame, lléname, levántame, lléname, levántame, porque tu poder es mi poder. Right now, maybe you might be going through something. Maybe you might need a touch from God. That's what this song's talking about. It's saying, fill me up, God, because your strength is my strength. I want to invite you guys, just repeat this after me. This simple chant like this. You ready? Do it. It goes like this. Lléname, lléname, levántame, levántame, lléname, lléname, levántame, levántame, porque tu poder es mi poder, es mi poder. Lléname, lléname, levántame, levántame, porque tu poder es mi poder, es mi poder. Lléname, levántame, lléname, levántame, lléname, levántame, porque tu poder es mi poder. Lléname, levántame, lléname, levántame, lléname, levántame, porque tu poder es mi poder. Lléname, levántame, lléname, levántame, lléname, levántame, porque tu poder es mi poder. Lléname, levántame, lléname, levántame, lléname, levántame, porque tu poder es mi poder. Let's give Jesus Christ another round of applause, amen?
That's right, that's right.
Real quick, you know that song right there is talking about God, fill me up because your strength is my strength. And like I said, you know, we're here, we're having a good time, we're doing these fast songs, we're having some praise and worship, we're doing everything. But like I said, we wanted to share just a little bit about what God has done in our lives. You know, like Dan was saying about how Jesus, you know, He's the reason for the season. You know, I just want to take this moment real quick. And I just want to share with you guys just a little bit of my testimony of what God has done in my life. Because I know sometimes people might think that, you know, people that go out there and they're on the microphone and they're preaching in front of people, that they grew up in the church, you know, and they had it made and they, you know, they were always in church all their time, so it's easy. Well, I'm here to tell you here today that this right here that I do 3, 4, 5, 6 years ago, it wasn't easy for me to do. I wasn't always right here in my right mind in a public place, giving God all the honor and all the glory. I wasn't always right here doing all this music, glorifying God. You know, there was a time in my life when I was out there doing things that I shouldn't have been doing. You know, I grew up in the church as a young boy. You know, I did this holy hip-hop music when I was younger, when I was a teenager. You know, I did all of that. But how many know even that right there is not a guarantee that you're going to be saved for the rest of your life? How many know that even that, just by you going to church, Sunday school, that's not a guarantee that you're going to be saved for the rest of your life? Now, me, myself, I was able to go through that and find out the hard way that it wasn't guaranteed that I was going to be saved for the rest of my life. But I want to tell you guys that nobody ever made me stop going to church. Nobody ever made me do the things that I did. Me, myself, I was the one that made myself do what I wanted to do. Nobody put a gun in my head. Nobody told me, hey, I want you to drink this. Hey, I want you to smoke that. I want you to do that. Nobody did. I did it to myself. I dug my own ditch. I burned up all my bridges that I burned. I did all of that on my own. Nobody did it for me. And even during those moments, it was those times where instead of me saying, God, help me. God, I don't want to be like this no more. God, I don't want to be a drunk no more. God, I don't want to be lost in my mind all the time. Instead of me doing that, I went the opposite way and I blamed God for everything. I blamed God for things that were going on in my family. I blamed God for things that were going on in my life. I blamed God for everything. I said, God, you will not let us go through this if you really care for us. You will not let us go through this if you really, really loved us. And I really meant that from the bottom of my heart. I mean, I had so much hate towards God. I had so much bitterness towards God. And I just didn't want nothing to do with Him. You would have thought I would have ran right back to the church. And I would have said, God, forgive me. God, forgive me for what I did. But I didn't. I didn't want nothing whatsoever to do with God. But I want to know, God, no matter what, no matter how far you run away from Him, He's always still right there holding on to you. He's always still right there saying, come on, son. Come on, get up. Come on, son, it's going to be okay. Son, you may have messed up. You may be passed out right now. But come on, it's okay. Son, you may have been in jail, but it's okay. How many know God is there with you no matter what? God is always with you, and that's what I'm here to tell you today. That no matter what I did, God was still right there with me. God was still protecting me. I mean, I got 4 driving under the influences. And my last one, I flipped 3 times. They had to remove me with the jaws of life. And I'm not saying this to have any pity on me or to feel sorry for me, but I'm here to tell you because it's the truth. It's stuff that happens on an everyday basis. I mean, there's not a day that goes by that you don't hear in the news about an accident. You don't hear in the news about something going on because somebody either was under the influence of a mind-altering substance or somebody just was doing something that they weren't in their right mind. There's not a day that goes by. Well, I'm telling you, there was a day that went by that I was one of those news stories. I was one of those persons during the day, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, driving under the influence, getting in an accident, hitting somebody, making them get a concussion in their head, me flipping. They had to remove me with the jaws of life. But I'm here to even tell you, even in that moment, God had His hand upon my life. Because I guarantee you, if He didn't, I would not be here standing here in my right mind. I would not be here talking. I would not be here walking. I would not, something would have been wrong with me if God did not have His hand upon my life at that moment. And I'm not here to say that it was even the paramedics or anybody like that, but it was God. God used every one of those persons, even the police department, everybody to watch over me in that moment. He looked after me, and even my drunkest, my downfallest moment, God was there to pick me up. God was there to say, you know what, Patrick, come on, let's go. You're going to be all right, come on. And you would have thought